Well, happy fight day, everybody. And I'm proud to be to be live with all of you at 3:30 Eastern time, less than 30 minutes away from the kickoff of UFC Vegas 27, back at the Apex, going down later on, main event, a fascinating one at 135 pounds between Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt, and we are here to discuss this card with all of you. This is the UFC Vegas 27 People's Pre-Fight Show here on MMAfighting.com. If you got questions, we hopefully have the answers, so leave them in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching. We appreciate it, and leave those questions so we can discuss this card. I am Mike Heck. I do not do this alone, thank God. We got José Youngs joining us. Prince of Positivity, Alex K. Lee. And on the ones and twos, Mr. E. Casey Leydon. I never know what you guys are gonna do because I literally can't see any of you unless we're on the screen right here, or if you pop it. Like what we see here is what I see. We do have some news. If you guys have not been made aware, we lost a fight not long ago. Our own Damon Martin was first to report the fight between Yanceys Medeiros and Damir Hadzovic is off. It is no longer taking place. Hashtag yan yan yan. But that fight at one, yeah, yep, no Yancey, fancy Yancey is will not be competing. According to the UFC, they followed up with the press release on their website not long after we made that report, and they said they called it health issues for Damir, so that fight will no longer be taking place. So now we will move ahead and forge forward with 12 fights, and it has not affected the broadcast time, but you know how this all works. They're going to say the card still starts at 4 Eastern, but the first fight probably won't happen till like 4:25 Eastern. But that's where we're at. One fight down. We got 12 total, and there you go. That's what
I'm disappointed.
That was a fun fight.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
They couldn't find a last second replacement to come in and then wait and then the commission fines them for not being able to make weight on like 36 hours notice.
Call back.
How disappointing. How disappointing. Poor Juan Medeiros. Come on now.
Yeah, AK's been stewing on this for about 24 hours now.
Here
You were not a happy camper about this.
No, and I actually slandered the good name of the UFC, by the way, in an inaccurate tweet where I implied it was the UFC that fined for, again, Juan Camilo Ronderos, who is filling in at the last second for Raulian Paiva. And then we got that story where Paiva was hospitalized due to weight cut issues. So Juan Camilo Ronderos, who trains at Extreme Couture. So, I guess he's just there. He's in Vegas. They brought him in. He couldn't make weight and apparently is still going to be penalized for missing weight, even though he won a favor here. I'm optimistic. I want to believe that the UFC is going to do the right thing and make this great for him, or Dvorak team's going to be we're not taking the
or at minimum he should still be eligible for performance bonus. How about that?
Yes, that absolutely. All these things. Again, like I said, I assume it's just procedural. The commission has to do this because that's just customary for missing weight. But then again, I guess they negotiate with the teams too. So
yeah,
the teams theoretically could just say, "Don't worry about it." But I don't like I said, procedural. I'm gonna have faith the UFC takes care of this, and Ronderos isn't getting screwed out of 20% here.
Has anyone checked on was it the guy who went to the hospital? Pavita? How do you say his name?
Paiva.
Is he okay? Has anyone checked on him? Do we have any report? He almost died. Had to go to the hospital because he was cutting weight.
Didn't Guilherme Cruz put a?
He just goes to the hospital. Whatever. He's fine.
No. I believe according to the story, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. I think he's okay now.
Jeez. Yes, the Brazilian Beast got a statement from the young man, and you could read that over at MMAfighting.com. As we get ready to take the questions, before we get to those, obviously David Dvorak is going to be the biggest favorite on this card because he's fighting a guy on 24 hours notice who's only 4-0 as a pro. But a little trivia question here. Who, besides David Dvorak, do you believe, gentlemen, is the biggest favorite on this card today? whoever wants to chime in.
I thought my feed froze there for a second. I'll go last. I'm just looking at the names on the card now.
All right. It will not be Rob Font, although his
No.
his stock has risen slightly since we spoke yesterday. He's now minus 125 favorite.
I think Felicia Spencer has
it's
to
gotta
be the
be.
biggest favorite. Felicia Spencer has to be the biggest favorite.
I'll guess
not even
Ben
close.
Rothwell.
What?
Ben Rothwell.
No. Felicia Spencer, a minus 175 favorite.
That's it?
Comeback on Norbert Dunat is plus 165. Ben Rothwell, minus 290. Some money coming in on Beast Boy, plus 260. That's a yummy line. That's a yummy betting line if you play the ponies. But the biggest favorite on the card besides Dvorak is Damir Ismagulov against Rafael Alves, minus 475.
Yeah.
Some have him as high as minus 650. So it depends on where you
Whoa!
where you're looking. Yep.
Damn, it's nice
Some,
to have a good
some
record.
interesting lines. Yeah.
Dang.
I would think
There you
Felicia
go.
Spencer would be the biggest favorite. I don't know why.
Slight favorite, not even a 2-1 favorite.
All right.
Let's go to the peeps. What are the peeps thinking?
Jose hasn't even said anything. How's Jose doing? Is he doing okay?
Jose, are you with us?
This is muted. That's why he's muted.
You're muted.
Wait,
Oh,
you're not
there you
muted?
go.
Am I muted?
No, you're back.
What?
No, there you
You're
are.
back.
You weren't
He's
muted.
back.
It's like
There
no
we go.
sounds are coming from your mouth. It was pretty interesting.
It's weird.
I don't know how you did that.
I can see levels. I can see levels
no,
and
you're good.
everything.
You're-
I just can't see it. Oh, you know,
Yeah, you're
just
good now.
technical issues.
All right. Normal.
I was like, why isn't Jose playing the game? That's because we just couldn't hear him.
All right. This is good.
I also don't like gambling, so I have no idea what lines are.
All right. How about this? What will be the fight of the night of this card? We'll start with Jose now that we have his sound back in our lives.
Not the main event because that's a very easy, basic answer. So I'll say Jack Hermanson, Edmund Shabazian, just because they're two top 10 middleweights. So normally when you get two highly skilled fighters inside the octagon for 3 rounds, something crazy is going to happen. So the main event is a boring, basic, easy pick for fight of the night. So I'm going to go Hermanson, Shabazian.
AK, I think I know your answer, but go ahead.
I mean, I tell you, I got a weird feeling about Felicia Spencer and Norma Dumont. I know featherweight division hasn't always been a wellspring of excitement, but I feel like as long as Dumont makes it out of the first, it doesn't just get like taken down and completely dominate in the first, we could see a real scrap there. So I'm going with a kind of a definitely one I can't imagine too many other people are eyeing, Felicia Spencer and Norma Dumont.
You think Dumont's gonna be able to keep Spencer on the feet?
Maybe. I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking it's possible.
Okay, because no one's done that. What do you think tonight's tonight?
Well, the two people who beat her, I would say this.
No. Amanda Nunes took her down.
I took her down, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like I think if she wanted to keep on the feet, she probably could.
All right. Cyborg is the only one that kind of straight up did a 25 minutes on the feet. No, 15 minutes on the feet. Yeah. I'm going crazy. It's gonna be Jan and Carla. I think because they're both gonna be because they're decision queens, very good fighters, and it's gonna be an awesome fight. And Carla's gonna be out there because she knows she can't. Well, it's not like she tries to, but she needs to do something impressive, and I think she knows it to get that shot with Rose. So I expect a fired up Carla tonight, and Jan's awesome. So that's what I'm hoping. I have high hopes, or it could be the worst fight of the night. Either or.
I mean, I just see chaos with Chris Barnett and Ben Rothwell. It's just gonna be nuts. I just don't know how nuts it's gonna be and how long that fight's gonna last. But for as long as it lasts, it's gonna be chaotic. But I'm gonna go with Bill Algeo and Ricardo Ramos. I think that's gonna be a fun one. So I'll go with that one. It seems like a good safe bet right there.
All right.
Dana Bright. It's a great name.
Dana Bright. I'm glad that got bumped to the main card too. I know. Something. They did a little card shuffle.
Now we just need Jose Youngs' Bill Cosby sweater to
I'm sure
ask
he's
some
there.
questions.
Okay,
I'm sure he's
this question is my. Oh, I'm just so hoping for this.
Will we see a Barnett victory dance today?
Or a Rothwell victory dance. Have you ever seen Rothwell dance? The guy can move.
I believe
shimmies.
it.
He shimmies.
I mean, I'd be very surprised to see a Barnett victory at all, much less a dance. And I don't know if I'm just saying, it's heavyweight. It's heavyweight. Anything can happen. But I think Rothwell, I view him as a class above Chris Barnett. As excited as I am for Chris Barnett to finally get a UFC shot, I would assume I'm definitely picking Rothwell. It'll be tough for either of them to top Hannah Guy from yesterday, though. I'll tell you, if we want to talk best dance of the weekend, Hannah Guy's little post-fight.
Can you do it?
I was about to imitate it, and that's how horrible that would be.
If you do it, I'll do it.
She did almost mockery. Okay, go.
Ready? On three, AK. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
All right.
You're not doing the dance, AK. Come on. Did you freeze? No.
No, you got to shake a little more. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Almost. I think almost.
It was great. It was fantastic.
It was really funny. It was really funny. I think it was kind of taking obviously a shot at Valerie Leydon. She's just beaten. So I thought that was great.
Did you watch her post fight scrum? She was so good. Like everyone that called, the media, they'll be like, oh, they're like, this is Jimmy from fightsports.com, and she'd be like, hi, how are you? And they'd be like, oh, I'm doing okay. And then she would just like a regular conversation with everyone that talked to her. It was great. She's my new favorite fighter. Hannah Guy. I love her now.
I love when people who obviously we give all the attention to like the A side in the fight sometimes, and then the B side wins. They get to get put in that spotlight. I remember it happened with like Zach Freeman. I remember Zach Freeman was like, no one knew anything about this guy. He was like super interesting once they got him on the mic. It's funny. It's funny when that happens.
Yeah, Zach was a super interesting guy. Still is a very interesting guy. He hasn't fought in like 5 years. I think we're going to see a yeah. I mean, I don't even think I don't know if he was retired or whatnot. I predict we will see a Barnett victory dance today.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be a trash fight, honestly. But
it's gonna be a chaos. Yeah, it's gonna be chaos.
I don't think it's gonna be a very good fight, but I could be wrong.
Oh, well, in heavyweight division, trash fights are still the best fights. I love trash fights.
I disagree. I don't like trash fights.
Did you see Mark Hunt, Ben Rothwell? Was that the fight?
Yeah. In Denver.
In Denver? One of the greatest fights I've ever seen ever. They were gassed out after about 6 seconds. And it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What else we got? And it'll be a dance we talk about forever. Does Cody enter rage mode? I mean, Jose, I'll get your take on this first, but you have to assume that if he does enter rage mode, that is a very good thing for Rob Font, is it not?
Remains to be seen, because so far the people that have beaten Cody Garbrandt, who are TJ when he went into rage mode, and Pedro Munoz, like when he was coming off back-to-back knockout losses. So he's had a lot of time off between all of those fights. He's a new dad, so I don't think he's going to enter rage mode at all. I think we're going to probably see a Cody Garbrandt that we saw against Dominic Cruz. That could be the best bantamweight on planet Earth. So is it good for Rob? Probably, but you still have lunch boxes attached to Cody Garbrandt's arms coming at you. So I think that's a dangerous position, even if it's rage mode or not. So to be determined. Let's see what happens when he gets 5 jabs down the middle, a la Rob Font, and his nose is shattered. And then if he keeps his cool, then he should probably win. But to be determined.
Do you think we'll see him get back to that place, AK?
Look, I think it's good that I think we mentioned before how respectful things seem to be between him and Rob Font, because obviously the stuff with TJ was so heated. I mean, once they started swinging and just going nuts, you're kind of like, yeah, well, we expected this to happen, and both times it did not end well for Cody Garbrandt. He was probably even more in rage mode in the rematch, thinking like, well, I gotta put this guy away now. He knocked him out the first time, and then I think with the Pedro Munoz. Yeah, I think with that he was still trying to bounce back from what happened with the TJ fights. Then he was still like, okay, well, no, I have to show I'm the guy that can go in there and bang and knock anybody out. And I think what we saw in the Sunset fight was the new Garbrandt. So even if he drops like a round to one of the first 2 rounds to Font, I don't see him like going berserk. I don't see him going like, oh man, well, I lost that last round. I got to go out there and start swinging. I'm a believer in the kinder, gentler Cody Garbrandt. And I do think I've been predicting that this one will go the distance. So, and I think Garbrandt will win a decision. So no, I'm not sorry. If anyone's hoping for Cody rage mode, I don't expect it.
Casey?
Unfortunately, I agree with AK. Yeah.
This is nothing to do with this question. And who knows? I believe Fon's game plan will try to get him into that rage place. I mean, he said it a million times, but this is a very interesting tweet that I just read like an hour ago, and I wanted to bring this up from account on Twitter @the_Dan_Hubler. He said, in case you were wondering, UFC fighters who have reported a positive COVID-19 test result are 22-27-1, 44% win percentage in their follow-up fight. He actually made a spreadsheet on this. So fighters who have a positive COVID test who fight after testing positive, 22-27-1 in 50 fights.
Okay, that's interesting. But
the problem is it's so close to 500 that it's like, then does that mean? What does that mean?
There's asymptomatic cases, but Cody had like a real case where like so.
Right.
I wonder. Yeah. So.
It's also who are these fighters? Who did they fight?
And how fast of a turnaround from
how fast? Yeah,
fighting.
That's I think that's a cool tweet, but it's like there's way too much data being left out of there for us to be like, oh, that means that's a trend. Oh, they have losing. It's like, well, no, would they have been favored to win anyways? Would they have been underdog anyways? Yeah, there's so many.
I'm pulling this in. Okay, so number 1, Lyman Good lost to Bilal Muhammad.
Okay,
Jacare lost to Kevin Holland. Vinicius Moreira lost. Gilbert Burns lost. Anderson Dos Santos won. Pedro Munoz lost. I don't know. There's a lot of these, but
that's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah.
There's 50 of them, and there's 17 fights pending.
Yeah.
I wonder if they included.
So if you want to look at it more closely, go to @the_Dan_Hubler, HUBLER, and you can look at the whole list.
I'm curious because some of those fights were canceled because their corners tested positive. I wonder if they included those or not.
I assume that list is just if we know the fighter themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
I assume. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it looks like the fighters who had positive cases.
All right.
Because it seems like 50 would be a low number overall.
Here's an interesting comment. I might have to ban this person.
No, thank you, Gustavo Jorgi. I know I ruined that one. Thank you, Gustavo. It is not my birthday. You are correct.
Okay.
It is never my birthday.
Gustavo, you are banned.
Yeah, it's not Alex Savas.
He is not banned.
It's
He is not banned.
AK's birthday.
He is not banned.
It's not Alex Winland's birthday. If you're cool, Alex, it's not your birthday.
Promoted to super commenter.
What else we got?
All right. A lot of sympathy for Yancey on the comments.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one. That was one of my.
Yancey.
That probably would have been my answer to the question for fight of the night, if we're being honest.
Have you guys
because of the stakes for both of those guys?
At least the issue doesn't appear to be on his end, so we could see a quick rebooking. Right?
Yeah.
Who knows? He could fight in 2 weeks, right? He could fight in 2 weeks. We don't know.
But 55 is a big weight cut for Yancey. Remember, he went to 170.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys ever met Yancey in person. Like first of all, he's an awesome guy. He's just funny, biggest smile ever. But like he's a really big 55 or so. Oh, that just sucks for Yancey. I hope he gets paid his show money at least. And oh man, that just sucks. I don't know. Yeah. Off topic.
Hopefully they turn him around or try to like re-sign him, give him a new deal, or give him the option.
Or let him leave. Yeah.
Will Diego Sanchez return to the UFC? AK says absolutely. Says he's going to fight Tony Ferguson. We already have that whole thing. If you missed AK's
it's already set up.
Outstanding explanation on this topic, watch Between the Links. What do you think, Jose? Do you think the whole breaking away from Josh Fabia opens the door back home for one more?
I think the door is cracked open. I don't think it's wide open yet because he also said the UFC was going to try to kill him. And apparently he opens the door to a lot of like trying to put a lot of Dana White's dirty laundry out there, Sean Shelves and everything. So there's obviously damage control needs to happen. So if I'm Diego Sanchez, do I try to smooth things over? Yes, but also because I think it was you that said a lot of promotions were interested in Diego Sanchez, but they did not want to deal with Joshua Fabia. Now that Joshua Fabia is out of the mix, Diego Sanchez, just go where you get paid the most. Don't care where it is, especially if this is going to be your last fight of your career. Get a whole bunch of money to fight. If that's Oscar De La Hoya, great. If that's Donald Cerrone, great. That's Tony Ferguson, great. If that's whoever, if that's Michael Venom Page and Bellator, great. Care. Just go wherever you get paid the most and don't bring Joshua Fabia because that will probably lower your asking price.
Casey, do you see it happening? Do we see Diego Sanchez in the octagon one more time?
No. And it's because of the now that the head trauma CTE kind of rumors are out there, kind of, I need my medical records and all that stuff. I think that's the one thing that the UFC they're so worried about because it was the Ari Emanuel guy after they did the stock, he went public, he went on some money channel and was all like, we've never had a serious injury and stuff. It's like, bro, you've had a lot of serious injuries. And I think even that phone call that they recorded and released, I think illegally, about the whole medical records with Diego Sanchez and stuff like that. So I know the UFC is super, 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 super duper cautious about that. So for that reason alone, I don't think he will return, unfortunately. And the UFC will get by without him. That's the thing. I would like to see Diego make a real retirement fight in the octagon with fans. He deserves that, just like Cowboy deserves that. But yeah, this is an MMA. There aren't too many happy endings.
I'll say, even if he doesn't fight again, I bet he does get a proper Hall of Fame induction somewhere down the road. I know he's already in there for the Clay Guida fight, so I do think he'll become a two-time. It might take a while, like as Jose said, and Jed brought it up in hot tweets as well, and has said it in other shows. Like the whole the UFC's trying to kill me thing. That's tough. That's a bit of fire on the bridge. I don't want to say the bridge is completely burned. It's pretty badly singed. But again, there's all kinds of crazy feuds in MMA. I don't know if anyone's ever gone that far with Dana White, but I do think there's a homecoming for him. Maybe he doesn't fight again. Maybe I'm being a little too, out there with that prediction. But I do see him getting in the Hall of Fame again as a fighter. So I think he'll become a two-time Hall of Famer. But this could be like 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Why should he be in the Hall of Fame as a fighter?
Because Dana White likes him, or liked him before all this crazy stuff happened. Yeah,
I mean, I know he's a fan favorite, and he's had some exciting fights.
If Stephan Bonner's going in the Hall of Fame, then Diego Sanchez should be in the Hall of Fame. That's my.
Did he only go? But he only went in.
No,
he went
in separately. He's a two-time Hall of Famer. Stephan Bonner has never fought for the title, and he lost the Ultimate Fighter. Diego Sanchez has fought for what, one or two?
Fought one title. I can't remember. One title against BJ. Lost against BJ.
One title against BJ. Has a. Like, how many fight of the years does he have? A ton. Yeah. And he won the Ultimate Fighter. What is it?
He's the first one.
He's the first. He's also the first winner.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I don't keep up. I don't watch reality TV. So if he goes in, he'll be for his reality TV performances. So sure.
Except for Terrace House, right?
No, I quit watching that. I mean, I
do.
Well, you had to.
Yes.
Hey, Hannah Kimura Memorial Show.
It was like a year ago.
TV tonight. By the way,
yeah, 1 year ago.
There's a memorial. There's a memorial show on Fight TV tonight, and all the proceeds go to Hannah's mom. So I'm just telling people, if you got time, you care about pro wrestling, check that show out.
I sat next to Hannah Kimura at a restaurant when I was in Japan, and I was like, oh my god, that's her. But I didn't say anything.
Going back to Diego, he apparently has the second most fight of the nights in UFC history. So, Kyle Parisian, Guida, Melendez, like those are three. Like the Guida and Melendez fight definitely won a bunch of fight of the years. And I know Carl Parisian stands out in my mind. I can't remember if I won a bunch or not, but that's still like people don't talk about that fight enough for being one of the better fights in UFC history.
People don't talk about Caro enough anymore, really.
That's true.
No, I didn't even want to be talking about Caro today.
Forgotten star from that era, right? That kind of early 2000s. No.
Nope.
Damn.
See, there's this thing, you should read the bio before you ask these questions.
Does this one say parody? Does it say parody in it?
It did for a long time.
It did. Okay.
Because
Okay, yeah,
as
there's
soon
one- I
as
don't know.
as soon as I saw that tweet, I'm like, I wonder how many people are going to write articles off of this.
Everyone.
And
No articles,
exactly.
thankfully. Yeah.
Okay, the confusing part about saying parody account, that's kind of redundant for any Josh Fabia account. Like
It's true. It's hard to
So
tell.
I was like, so when I saw parody,
No,
I
but
was like, I don't know.
It's
I think even if you
it's
read the rest of the bio, it's still like tomfoolery. Like it says like 0-3 MMA Taibo champion.
all right. I will say, look, I won't blame people for necessarily falling for this. So I'll say in general, people just think a little bit about whether an account could be real. Just look at their history. Have they tweeted anything else? Like this one, I think in particular that I think DM Candelo is referring to has no other tweets other than the tweets that happened on Thursday or Friday, and then everything else is like retweets, of course, of stories of Diego and Fabia. So you got to think about it a little bit. Go to the official website. Like I can't believe I did this. I went to the Fabia School of Awareness website. It does not have a Twitter account associated with it. And heaven help us, this made the rounds so much that Fabia himself, from his School of Awareness on Instagram, did you guys see that, his Instagram story? Where he's like, I just want people to know I don't have a Twitter account. So he was aware that these fake quotes were flying around. So that's why I can't give people like too much crap for believing this, because apparently
that is his real Instagram account though.
It is the School of Awareness,
No.
School of SOSA, School of Self Awareness, Instagram account. So
Trademarked.
he's like, I don't have a Twitter. So I mean, I hate to speak for the man in any capacity, but I will say, at least in this case, it is anything you see from Twitter, supposedly Josh Fabia tweeting at Diego or about Diego or about the story that Steven wrote on MMAfighting.com. Guys, that's all fake. The story is real. The quotes from Fabia are not real.
You know a lot about Josh Fabia's social media presence.
Dude, I hate. As soon as I saw that come up, I'm like, I'm shooting this crap down right away. A screenshot. Like, I mean, I wish I had more reach.
That's why I put this up here, because I wanted AK to go off on it.
It's so like this happens all the time with the Keith Peterson account. People still think that one's real. There's so many fake accounts, guys.
On Fight Island, I sat next to Keith Peterson because when you're in the airport leaving to come back to America, they put everyone that was on Fight Island in one big room just to hang out for a couple hours. And so it's like all the fighters, the coaches, the UFC staff, referees, everything. And I talked to Keith Peterson for a while, and he thinks the Twitter account is absolutely hilarious. Like his,
it is great.
He sits down when he goes home because he has a full-time job. I'm pretty sure he works on like trucks as like a mechanic. He's saying whenever he goes home, his daughter like sits down and shows him all the funny tweets that's coming out. So he has a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah. And some of that's fine, but this 5-1 where it's like, I don't know if they're like trying to make a joke or if they're trying to just do it for club. I was like, man, get a life. And this is from me. I'm like one of the saddest people in the world. If I'm telling you to
you can't talk about people on. You can't talk about social media and say get a life, because everyone that just lives on social media needs to get a life.
No,
Go
I would
outside.
think that's what this. Well, Jose, that's what I'm saying. If this is coming from me, and I'm saying yours, and whoever the person is that keeps making these fake accounts and doing these stupid fake tweets, if I'm saying you need to get a life, that's really sad. So
the only people that weird me out more than people that live on social media are people that comment on YouTube videos. Those like after they're live and like they get in arguments in the YouTube comments.
Except everyone here.
Except everyone here.
The show. Except
no,
the
I'm not
show.
talking about. I'm not talking about a live chat. I'm
you're
talking
saying.
about like once the video is live, they'll be like after like an hour, and they just get in arguments in the YouTube comment section. Like, go outside. Like, come on, cut it out. And then people that get back and forth and respond. Like, come on, move along.
No, I think comments are good for the algorithm. Don't listen to Jose. Leave all your stupid comments in our.
They're not. They are not. YouTube comments are low on the totem pole and what affects the YouTube algorithm. Trust me.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
All right, next. We could probably go like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts on the UFC placing Hermansson versus Edmund as the main card opener instead of the co-main event? Understandable or disrespectful? AK, your thoughts. You're the positive. Oh, go ahead, Jose.
I'll go. Totally understandable. Okay. It's not a bad thing to be the main card opener. And like, I know people kind of use the term like curtain jerker, but in a way, you're kind of also a pacer. Also, I mean, this is a pretty broad statement to me, but the main card is first starting. There's a lot of people who don't watch prelims, keep in mind. So the main card is when they tune in. That's kind of when they're most their energy's up. They're excited to watch the card. So this is actually like a really good spot to be in. I don't know where it was originally. I think it was originally before it got this shuffled with the Paiva thing. I don't know if this fight was supposed to be like if it was always the opener. I could be wrong. It might have always been the opener. But however it ended up in this spot, no, this is a good thing. It's good for Shahbazyan. And I think being in the main event the last time maybe was a bit too much of a push. I think this is the right spot for him. Veteran name, Hermansson, so good opponent too. So absolutely understandable. I don't think disrespectful in any way.
No, that sucks. It should be the third fight from the top.
Unless it helps. Unless it helps Jack Hermansson's country watch since done earlier in the day, but I have absolutely no idea if that's the reasoning. I also don't understand the whole main card versus prelim card anyway, because they're both on ESPN Plus and the stream doesn't change. It's not like you have to go to a new stream to watch the main card. So it just goes. And all of a sudden they announce, hey, all those fights you just watched are on a different card. This is all the main card, even though you don't change the channel, you don't change the stream, and there's nothing different. Hold on. I never understood that. It's like the ESPN prelims to pay-per-view I get, but I don't understand the ESPN Plus prelims to ESPN Plus main card, but I don't really care. It's an awesome fight. Don't really care where it is on the card.
It's Facebook to early prelims to main card. Jeez.
No, you forgot Fuel. You forgot Fuel TV.
Fuel TV. Yeah.
You also forgot. You also forgot the unaired prelims they used to do because Dustin Jacoby had never fought on UFC TV until he got re-signed because both of his fights were on Facebook and untelevised before he re-signed.
I don't understand.
I have no issue with this fight. Oh. I was just gonna say I have no issue with this fight opening the main card, and I think part of it was it's a safe play too, because like there's a COVID concern on the card the week prior to this one. So like if you put it in the co-main event spot and you promote it as such, and then you lose it, it's like it's a damper. But if it's just like the main card opener, it's kind of expected, and you're not putting a lot of money and promotional push behind it. Like it's a good fight.
I tell you what, if I'm a media member backstage, I am very happy this opens the main card because if it was third from the top, you want to watch Yan Xiaonan and Carlos Esparza fight, but you can't because you're too busy interviewing the winner for Hermansson and Edmund, if that makes sense. I know all of you guys that are backstage, you miss a lot of fights interviewing people.
Yeah.
So if I'm backstage, I am very happy at this placement because I'm not. Like Bill Algeo and Ricardo Ramos are great, and then Philly Spencer, Norman Dumont is great, but this is clearly two top 10 guys, and you're going to be, you want to interview these guys and give them like Casey you were handling a lot of the streaming for Fight Island. They brought in JoJo right at the beginning of Michael Chandler Dan Hooker. I missed all of Michael Chandler Dan Hooker. I missed that whole fight because it was quick, and we were interviewing JoJo. So if I'm backstage like Oscar, John Morgan, Kenny, all those guys, I'm glad this is open in the card.
If the only reason this card, the placement in this card makes sense, placement in this fight makes sense only if it's for the UFC for TV ratings wise. They just want to make sure, basically more people are tuning in to watch this fight than Bill Algeo. So I get that. And the pay, for as far as I know, the pay doesn't change for Hermansson.
Exactly.
Unless you're in the main, I think main event gets a little more money, but other than that.
How many fighters have we talked to where they prefer fighting earlier? A lot of them, I would say.
Because the money doesn't change. When you used to make more money from sponsorships, then it was a big deal. Back before Reebok, because if you were on the main card, you get more money from sponsors and stuff, so it was a big deal. But now it's all the same Venom fight uniform money. So
Venom, baby.
And then even the addition of the Fox prelims changed that up because a lot of fighters wanted to be on Fox because then you get more eyeballs on you.
Yeah. I think
Demetrius Johnson loved fighting Fox cards.
Yeah, because he actually made more money from sponsorships.
I actually think on these 6 fight cards, the last place you want to be is in like that 4 spot, like the one just before the co-main, because that's when people are starting going like, oh man, I'm just waiting for the last 2 fights of the night. That's why I think honestly, and that's why I think the Tafa, Tafa Bandera is probably the right fight. And let's be fair, they're not that well known, so people are kind of like decide like, oh, this is like kind of I'm going to step away from a monitor here and take a break. Or it could also be a fast finish because they're heavyweights, so you get that little burst of excitement and then a break and then time for the co-main events. So I actually think they constructed the card in a pretty intelligent way.
I think this is Justin Tafa's first fight on his new contract, if I'm not mistaken. Or then he's gonna because I remember last fight I was chit chatting with him. after because he lost to on the Holloway Cater fight. And it was a split to Carlos Felipe, and he was annoyed because a lot of people thought he won, and if he had won, he would have been on a 2-fight win streak. He would have been going to his new contract, which means like say you're 25-25 and you win and you're on a win streak, then you re-sign, you're probably going to double it, so you get 50-50 or whatever. But if you're on a losing streak and you go to the last fight, you're not going to get as much, and he didn't get his win bonus. So it was just a bad day at the office for Justin Tafa on Fight Island.
Yeah, and I know Jared Vandermeer's UFC debut was not great for him, but this is a tough fight for Justin Tafa. If Vandermeer's a really good wrestler, it just depends. Like, if Tafa can suck him into a striking battle, then this fight's not going to last very long. But if Vandermeer fights like he did for LFA for so many years and EFC for so many years when he was a champion over there, if he just wrestles and takes him down and grinds him out, he has a good chance of winning this fight. So
that Tafa Felipe fight was a lot of fun too. Because I remember
Oh
at
my
one
God.
point their arms were so heavy they just were holding each other up with their foreheads, just punching each other. I loved that fight.
I remember I remember tweeting out, I want to see a best of 7 between these two guys.
100%.
And they both were in for that.
Isn't that crazy that Tafa is fighting still, and then UFC just released Jorge De Castro? Just
No, they didn't. De Castro wasn't released. He just wasn't re-signed. That was his last fight. Was the last fight on his deal.
I take
Yeah,
that.
he just ran, he
re-sign him.
He just ran through his first 4 fights. Yeah, like really quickly. He fought like 4 times in like 18 months or something like that. Yeah, he just ran through them.
I take that as the same thing.
What else? We still got time. We still got time. They are not on the first fight. Bilal Muhammad on the desk, by the way, for anyone who's curious. He's on the desk.
Oh,
with,
friggin' time.
Yeah, right. He's got such a personality, right?
Yes, I've been tooting that horn for like 5 years now, and he finally gets it. More impressed with Cyborg's patience last night or Leslie Smith's toughness?
Go ahead, guys. You guys were talking about this before the show. How about it?
I absolutely
Cyborg won.
Yeah, I absolutely knew how tough Leslie Smith was. Like I said, maybe early in her career, but I think Cyborg was the only person to really, and I thought that was an early stoppage in their first fight, but Leslie Smith is incredibly tough to finish, and she almost made it. She almost made it 25 minutes with Cyborg. Almost. I think I saw on Twitter account, they can't find another fight ever in MMA history that ended at 4 minutes and 51 seconds of the 5th round. So, and Cyborg's patience was awesome. She looked incredible last night. It was just a smart performance. Always mixing those leg kicks, like finishing every combo with a leg kick, which is like, just beautiful to me. So, yeah, super impressed with both of them. But Cyborg, and yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, I'm in for both. Leslie Smith is just such a baller, man. She's such a gamer. And she fought great. She fought great. Gilbert Melendez, I thought Gilbert Melendez between every round was spot on. Like he was like, yep, do that. And she did it. She did every single thing. She was landing shots. She had her moments.
Yeah.
She didn't win any round, but she had her moments. She hung in there. She got in Cyborg's face a couple times. Yeah. Even after getting dropped. Like it was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Good on her.
Yeah. Cyborg had to respect Leslie Smith's toughness, had to respect her power, had to respect her kicks. And so it was just, Cyborg fought great. She's getting, I don't think Cyborg's at her, I think she's past her prime, but she's fighting smarter now. So if that makes sense. And that's great for her. And I don't know, we'll see Cyborg versus I don't know who next.
Yeah, Cyborg went from like Roger Clemens in 86 to like Greg Maddox in 95. Like just painting the corners, throwing 7-inning, 1-hit, 1-run baseball. Smart.
And great and it's just great cardio from both fighters. Like Cyborg both fighters went an incredibly strong 24 minutes. It was just high level MMA. Good fight.
Thoughts on the recently announced Aldo Munoz fight? Do you guys think Munoz should be ranked higher, considering he's beaten both Garbrandt and Font? I'm a big Edgar fan, but he did not beat Pedro.
Is this fight official?
Where is it? What is he ranked right now? Yeah, we confirm.
I think I think he means ranked even higher than he is ranked higher than Aldo for sure. He's 4th, maybe.
He's 7. No, he's 8. Pedro
He's
Munoz
set
is
8.
Pedro is 8.
Oh, because he lost to Edgar. Okay. Right. Yeah, I see. Okay, I get it. That bumped him down. Should he be? Oh, he is lower than Aldo. Aldo is 5th. What? What's happening right now?
Stop with the rankings.
You love the.
That's what the question's about.
What do we think about the fight, though?
You love. Oh, it's great. It's a great matchup.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a great matchup specifically because John has to ask this question. It's like, do you think he should be ranked higher? It's like, well, guess what? Now the question will answer itself, right? That's the beauty of when we have sort of logical matchmaking, and it's not just based on who's available and kind of guys wanting to fight. Well, I want to fight now before this has come up in my life, and so yeah, this is a very smart rankings matchup. If you think, like you say, if you think Munoz beat Edgar, I didn't disagree with that decision. I thought that decision was fine. But if you think he did, well, now if he beats Aldo, he will presumably either leapfrog Aldo in the rankings or they'll bump Aldo down behind him. So, this is one of the things. Nature has a way of correcting itself. So, yeah, love the matchup stylistically. I think I cannot even begin to make a pick yet. But yeah, great matchmaking on the UFC here.
The last 3 years, these two gentlemen have only lost to champions and former title contenders. Munoz and Aldo. They've never lost to someone that's not been a champion like in the last 3 years. Obviously, Pedro probably has a few losses at the beginning, but since 2018, 2017, Aldo's lost to Holloway, Volkanovski, Marlon, in quotes, because a lot of people thought he won, former title challenger, and then Peter Yan, and then who's obviously former champ, and then Munoz has lost to Aljamain and Frankie Edgar, 2 former champs. So it's an interesting matchup, and I love everything about it.
Bantamweights, they're the best.
It's an awesome matchup only because you can't really screw up booking top 10 bantamweights. But I don't. I know timing is so super important in the sport, but I don't know. I want to see Aldo versus Cruz before both guys get too old.
Someday.
So that's on. I'm just impatient. I feel like we're not going to see those Aldo Edgar fights, Aldo Garbrandt. Just more Aldo versus the stars, Aldo TJ Dillashaw. So hopefully this fight doesn't delay those fights I want to see. But this is an awesome fight. Munoz is great. Munoz is super underrated, and yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't want to wait.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't want to wait.
I agree. I agree. I think
if you go down, Aldo's fought Aldo, Munoz is literally the highest ranked fighter that Aldo hasn't beaten twice or isn't matched up.
Want to know what my first reaction was to this fight? It wasn't this fight is awesome. It was poor Merab Dvalishvili is never going to fight a top 10 guy. It's just never going to happen.
He's on the
outside. Because that was the perfect fight. That was the fight to make, was Merab versus Pedro Munoz. It just made sense. You know what I mean? I felt bad for Pedro. I know everyone wanted to shoot him up the rankings after beating Jimmy Rivera, but I was just you got to win one more. And if you beat Merab, then go crazy. I just felt if you're going to give Merab that shot, I mean, you could throw him in there with Marlon Moraes, but I think he gains more from beating Pedro than he does beating Marlon. So I felt, and I've been calling for this fight since the Frankie Edgar fight. You do Merab versus Pedro Munoz. I felt bad for Merab in that situation because every other guy that was it's been a touted contender in this division has gotten an opportunity to fight a name. Even Casey Kenny got the Dominic Cruz fight, and Merab's just beating everybody, and he's not getting any shot. I mean, John Dodson was a nice name, but it's not Dominic Cruz, it's not Pedro Munoz.
Didn't he get COVID at one point? Was that him? And that's why
that was before the COVID Cody Stamann fight.
And then the Stamann, and that's just timing, I guess, because how many bantamweight fights are coming up? So once all those fights play out, maybe Merab does get one of those guys, one of the losers. Because if he had fought on Cody when he was originally supposed to, he'd probably be free around now, and then maybe that could happen. But he didn't. He just fought 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So maybe in a week or
timing,
two, he'll get it. Yeah, timing.
Could he fight? Could he get the loser of tonight's fight or the loser of Sandhagen Dillashaw?
It's not really bad to get the loser. It's Merab is basically Islam Makhachev. Like, he's just impossible to book.
Mm-hmm.
Just impossible to book. He's never going to fight people in front of him, unfortunately, Merab. Not never, but until he gets, I don't know, he becomes a star. It's just like Islam Makhachev. He's always fighting guys behind him. He's never fighting guys ahead of him, or at least guys ahead of him coming off wins, especially. Like we said, Merab could fight like, Marlon Moraes, but Marlon Moraes is coming off like 3 losses right now, even though he's highly ranked, but he wants to fight a guy ranked above him and with a win. So yeah, I agree. I agree. Heck, it's just it's like I wish
the UFC had held off on booking Islam, because Beneil Dariush brought up Islam in his post-fight press conference like 2 days after they made the Moises Islam fight.
Right, but still, Dariush said he's not fighting till December or early next year,
Right.
so you could still make that fight.
I don't know. Did you see Did you watch the interview he did with Damon Martin?
I did.
No, it's not out yet.
Oh well, we have it. It's just that we haven't released it yet, I guess.
Spoiler.
Hey man, Beneil's still a prize fighter, and you pay him that money, and he was like, he'll tell the kiddies, hey, don't worry, kids, I'm going on business.
He's about to.
We have bodies.
Have a baby. So.
We have bodies, and we have body entering the cage. Rafael Alves is dancing and crying his way to the. He's been entering for about literally, I think, for maybe almost 90 seconds now. God bless him. He's taking his time, and he is really loving life right now. So, but yeah, they're about to step in. They have not stepped in yet. So, just letting people know.
All right, so we're getting out of here.
Wait, one last comment. I just had to set the record straight. Someone.
I bet Casey is that uncle who gets drunk.
Casey doesn't
tells
drink.
Bad jokes, and then fights other uncles at the end.
Yeah, I don't drink, guys. Okay, everything else, I'll do the bad jokes, and I'll fight other uncles at the wedding. I'm not a drinker. I just want to get that out there.
Record set straight, ladies and gentlemen.
Record set straight.
All right. Enjoy the craziness, my friends. UFC Vegas 27 goes down. We'll see you on the other side after Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt do battle inside the octagon. And we'll react to all of it with all of you. And it'll be a little bit earlier. It won't be at 2 a.m., which I love.
AK, come on, do the Hannah
guy dance. The Hannah guy dance takes you home. So oh my god.
She did a little laugh too. Which made it even better.
I hope Hannah Guys doesn't become the Zach Freeman, Ricky Bandejas of that division. I really hope not.
Well, maybe we'll try to get her on What the Heck this week.
Yes.
Maybe we'll try and learn more about her.
Please.
So I'll work on that literally right now. So for AK, for Casey, for Jose, I'm Mike Heck. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you later on.
It's not AK's birthday, by the way. It's just
never is.